I made a desk out of a Volkswagen bus. There's lots of ways to do it. This is how I did it. Late in 2017, I saw on Facebook my friend Kyle was selling half a bus, a 71 Deluxe. So it had the little chrome strips on the side. A lot of old buses, the noses are kind of crushed in. I don't know why, because you can see everything, and you're literally, your knees are right behind the nose of this vehicle, but still a lot of people read it wrong and crush in the front, which my driver has that way and has too much Bondo to cover it up. But this one had a great look and was ready to go. There wasn't much left, but it was perfect for making a Volkswagen bus desk. So my dad and I took our trailer that ended up being too small up to Joplin, Missouri, met up with Kyle and got it loaded. Like I said, the trailer was too small. As you can see, the bus is sitting on the side rails, strapped down within an inch of its life. It was harrowing, to say the least. Most vintage Volkswagen owners name their vehicles because they are part of the family. So the kids voted and we came up with Sunny. So I'll refer to the desk from here on as Sunny. Originally, Sunny was supposed to be ready for the 2020 antique fair circuit. He was going to be a checkout desk, and I'm kind of kicking around the idea of a brick and mortar store too for my other side hustle, Rusty Bus Goods. Well, it turns out Sunny was kind of heavy, too heavy to be portable, so he just stays here in the studio. The other idea for Sunny was to also be a talk show desk, which I've got to test out a little bit. Not bad. So let me kind of show you around. I swear I shot footage in the workshop, all of the whole process. This has been kind of, it's taken a long time. And as I went, I was careful to catch it all. I don't know where that is. All that workshop stuff, I don't know. I did catch the kids helping me cut the front end off of Sunny, but anyway. So I'll just have to pull the bus out and kind of take you on a tour and tell you how I did what I did to get him here. Thank goodness he's on casters. Whew. So like I said, the idea was for Sunny to be portable and go to antique shows with us for a checkout counter. That would have been really cool, especially since the business name is Rusty Bus Goods. But he just turned out way too heavy. Thank goodness for these casters. So I put 2-inch thick oak for the top. I did not keep them down permanently because that's just a lot of added weight in itself. So they just sit here, and I put stops back here on the back so they would all line up right. But that's the only permanent part of the top. So Let's see. First off, what I did was with the belt line. Yeah, I've got a few little pieces to kind of even out those boards. They're not exactly the identical width. So let's see. So first off, so on the belt line here, you can see when the kids helped me cut, I had them to cut a little high, and then I went back with snips and just did the detail work right where the bend was supposed to be. And as it turns out, this ridge here in the windshield, it doesn't get in the way, so I didn't trim it off. It's pretty much level with the top of the belt line here, so it rests level across there. So once I got all this trimmed right how everything ought to be, I flipped Sunny over. So this would all lay flat on the ground. That was before these pieces of wood were here. So it all laid flat on the ground. That way I knew from measuring from the floor up what level needed to look like on the bottom. This shelf is also removable. Let's take a closer look. As you could probably tell, I trimmed right behind the mirror here. This is where the mirror post goes in. I trimmed right behind that. There's a piece of structure here, which I went too deep on this side and cut too much of the skin off, but it covered later. There's a heavy-duty piece of steel back here that I then figured out just to follow along the side of. So inside on that edge, I started with a piece of old oak 2x4 on both sides. Of course, making sure that it would be level along the bottom. I blocked out with some oak 2x4s in the front to make it level with these 2x4s on the side. Then we started with some scrap 1-inch plywood and just a scrap piece to bridge across from one door to the next. And then I found some decently heavy duty casters. I hope they're heavy duty enough. So then it was time to kind of trim out the cut edges. And so onto this oak 2x4 and in between the layers of inner door and the outer skin, I got some more blocks of wood in that hollow spot. And from there, I traced out some plywood and cut it out the way I wanted it, and then mounted it to that oak and to those blocks on the interior of the door on both sides. Had some cool old barn hardware here, and then to finish trimming it out, we got a soft pine 2x4 that would bend with the curve pretty easily. It's not perfect. And stained that up and polyed it. Stained and polyed this, of course. Oh, I made sure to make this plywood piece overlap enough that it would catch this piece of paneling. This is like a bathroom kind of generic paneling stuff. And it just kind of protects our toes, you know. Just kind of keeps our feet out of any jagged places. I just want to be sure and shout out Danny for sending me this grill that we didn't have. It was a completely different color. I found a color at Walmart that came pretty close, and then we did kind of a faux finish, and if you don't get too close, it blends pretty okay. This badge here I've had since the 90s, and you know, it was expensive then. I'm not even sure they make them new anymore. These headlights and rings came from a 72 Super Beetle that we had laying around, and then this blade down here, I don't know, it's what I had, and it's like a 30s something bumper off of an old car. I thought, you know, it kind of covers any kind of rustiness down there that the customer's toes could get into, you know. But also, I just, you know, this I like that bling, and it doesn't stick out as much as the bus bumper, you know, that was intended for it. Still looking for some ratty old blinker lenses. This one needs the bracket too, I think. But yep, if you want to send me a pair of those, they, you know, the more patina the better. I'm not picky, obviously. Okay, get ready.
I just ran into a tree.
Oh crap, there's a lot of them. Get.
I just ran into a freaking tree trying to run away. It's like all the movies.
Fantastic! If this interested you, or if you think it will interest someone you know, please share this video. And while you're at it, you might as well sub and hit the bell so you'll be notified. Trust me on that one. Life's what you make it. Let's get our hands dirty.